Hey, this is Autumn, and this is day 6, Fortress signups and filling out Foundry players. So, with Fortress battles, there are 12 fortresses and 4 strongholds that you can sign up for at any given time. You can only sign up for 1 fortress or stronghold, so fortress and 1 stronghold every week. Normally, in most states, you will divvy up the fortresses based on your alliance, but if you're not part of that group, then you can just sign up to anything and try to fight for it, although it may be difficult. So now they've added a new feature where you can cancel your signups, and that makes a big difference because you can make sure that you sign up to the correct fortress and pick your times, and try to pick times when your alliance will be online, because there's no point in signing up for fortress if your alliance won't fight for it because they're not online. Once you do, you pick those 3 times, and the game will randomly select from those 3 times among everyone who has signed up for it. So if you have signed up to a fortress and suddenly it appears at a time that you're not prepared for really, that means somebody else signed up for it. And then, yeah, that's basically it. Sign up to it. If you sign up to the wrong one, cancel it. They won't notice. Note about fortresses is that players can only participate in that fortress fight if they were in that alliance right before reset. So that means that if someone's gone out wandering, if they want to do fortress with you, make sure they're in your alliance at reset. This is the Foundry fill-out. Basically here, of course, we've gone through again one last pass. Has anybody signed up? Has everybody signed up for been signed up for their battle request? And then once you've got everyone who hasn't in the battle request, and you still need to make that 15 players, which is the minimum that's required to send someone to Foundry, or send a legion to Foundry, you will want to go to the weakest possible players and then fill out 8, or however many of them that you need to make it to 15. I normally do substitutions rather than in the main joiners, because substitutions just make it more accurate for people when they see the signups when it goes to the next day, which you'll see in the video, so people know what to expect. When you send like 15 people, everyone's like, oh yeah, there's lots of people. But then when only 3 people show up, then it's quite discouraging. But on the other hand, there's a certain element of mind games here. If you do send 15 people and it shows up like that to an alliance who is also not sending a very strong thing, it does make you look weaker as well, because honestly, I get really happy whenever I am facing in an academy alliance or a mid-activity alliance when I see a 15 sign up on the other side, because it means the other person, whoever's controlling on the other side, whoever R4 or R5's on the other side, doesn't really know what they're doing, in which case that battle is likely to be quite easy. In a high activity alliance, if I see a 15 people joining the other side, I get worried instead, because that means they probably had signed up 30 people and they're probably all going to show up. So yeah, that's basically it. Try to send, if you're sending 2 legions somehow, because you've got people on both legion time zones that really want to be there, then hope you have a lot of weak players. Otherwise, they're going to be super outgunned when it comes to the actual fight. Because the way that Foundry matchmaking works is that it checks for the total power little sword and shield icon there and matches it against the next closest alliance in your transfer bracket that is of a similar troop power. So if you have a mid-activity alliance, you might actually have really easy Foundry fights, because most alliances that are mid-activity or mid-low power in general tend to be quite, well, inactive. And Foundry is one of those events that takes so much buy-in that you're just not going to see much. Anyway, we're here on round 3 in Alliance Championship. And yeah, so we sent, a decent number of people this time around, but it's still a bit of a blowout fight. Anyway, number 2, that's not too bad. I believe for this one, yes. So not much to say here about Alliance Championship. By round 3 or round 4, The only real thing that you get in round 3, which didn't really exist in round 2, is more backup in terms of previous. Basically, what you're looking at in the previous rounds is, did the other alliance adjust? If they adjust, then you also know that they will probably try to react to your previous round. And so there's sort of like a 2-layer mind game going on. And if they didn't adjust, then they're probably not going to react to what's going on. And if they didn't adjust the entire time, they're probably not paying attention. So you can just adjust to win as many things as possible. Of course, that being said, there is also a mind game of, I couldn't win the last 3 rounds, so I'm not going to adjust, and now I'm going to adjust and kill you. That also happens. Just regular tasks now, and just making sure that everyone has the alliance notice ready, things like that. But yeah, basically that's all it is. In Canyon and Fortress, in Foundry and Canyon weeks, it's a relatively high administrative but non-urgent week. So they're generally sort of more relaxed weeks comparatively to CJ, which is extremely busy with events. So in some ways, if you are deciding to go on a downtime relaxed week, this is the week to do it. In a post-transit state, or rather once Canyon unlocks, you have basically Foundry week, CJ week, Foundry and Canyon week, and then SVS. So it's the most relaxed week for Foundry specific things is week 1. But week 1 is also Showdown. Week 3, the Foundry and Canyon week, is Mobilization. Showdown is also sometimes an event that alliances like to do quite hard because the Showdown events stack. So if you win Showdown a few times in a row, your rewards get much better. That being said, it's right after SVS. It's really difficult to have an alliance that really loves Bush, SVS, and Showdown because they're right after each other. You're probably going to be empty on one. But it's a possibility.